Hi, everybody. Welcome joining us again in Gyeongju, APEC 2025. I'm here with David Hill, our AP CEO, to have a quick interview and share his thoughts on the government and business relationship and the key priorities that we have learned from the APEC participants as the next market disruption and challenges going forward. Obviously, we are living in an era of uncertainty and disruptions, and I think our APEC CEO survey is also going to show the specifics of what the CEOs are challenging. Among that, what would you advise the CEOs out there to capture the new opportunities without falling behind on these uncertain times with all the disruptions?
Yeah, there's a term, Tay, that we use at Deloitte called expansive resilience, which is really trying to turn volatility and uncertainty into opportunity. And that requires a lot of agility, the ability to be adaptable and to shift and be flexible in our strategies. There's been a lot of complexity and ambiguity in the world, and that requires us to test and learn, to experiment, to pivot. But also, as leaders, there's inherent qualities that we must possess, that sense of resilience, curiosity, perseverance.
So in APEC, we did a survey to all the CEOs that were participating, and we had asked them what are the common challenges that they foresee to be sort of a priority for them. And among them were AI, cyber risk, supply chain resilience, and sustainable growth from all matters that would require sustainable growth. From your opinion, what type of investment priorities or strategies do you think that our CEOs should implement on these matters to kind of come over the top and survive?
Yeah, it requires, I think, a sense of portfolio theory, and that's what we're seeing. In the survey, more than half said they were boosting investment in sustainability, so actually doubling almost from 29% of CEOs last year saying they were investing in sustainability, this year 59%. And similarly, more than half were boosting their investment in AI. So it's actually covering the two bases. Because if, for example, we go all in on AI, which we know is a heavy consumer of electricity, then some of our ESG objectives and goals can go out the window. So actually making sure that we have a portfolio of investments and pursue each of them. So again, you could have, for example, a focus on digitization, AI, increasing e-commerce, but you've got to couple that with an investment in cybersecurity. So always looking at offense and defense.
Well, a little more on sustainability, which kind of naturally brings up the ESG matter, which has been a kind of hot topic here in APEC as well. I think particularly in Asia, where the individual countries have very different challenges that they're facing, situations are all different, but the press for ESG still is there.
Yep.
From your perspective, what are the ESG challenges that you've seen throughout Asia among the companies, and what would be the right kind of steps and remedy plans that they could take to stay afloat?
Yeah, so I think there's a few comments I would make on that. Obviously, I've just covered a bit on sustainability, so it's terrific to see that CEOs across Asia are embracing that. And in fact, when we look at Latin America, Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia, those investments in sustainability per our survey are particularly high. But then there's also governance-related issues, and probably the governance-related issue of our time is the governance of AI. Really, really important, that social interest test, trustworthy AI, responsible, safe, secure, accountable AI. So important. We can never blame it on the AI. We ourselves as leaders are ultimately accountable. And so governance of AI, really, really important topic for boards today.
Well, while we're on the topic, I mean, you are also at the top of our Asia Pacific leadership, governing all the 11 PFs that we have.
Yep.
How does Deloitte, do you think, would differentiate on ESG matters, and what do you foresee would be kind of like our next priorities on ESG for the next few years?
It's a great question, Tay, and I'm really proud that we've sort of focused, right? We've picked They're little acronyms, SIT. It's about sustainability, inclusion, and trust. Under sustainability, we're looking at sustainable AI and sustainable technology. On inclusion, we're looking at health access, including access to health across the Asia-Pacific region. And then under trust, we're focusing in on trustworthy AI. So that's really the focus of our ESG and purpose-related activities.
Well, moving on to AI and ethics. Obviously, whether it's Korea or whether it's China or Japan, all around APEC, Asia Pacific, AI is becoming a thing where it's the biggest priority for all the CEOs.
Yep.
Then we get to the line of the ethics of AI, where the technology advancement has to meet with the right kind of regulatory controls.
Yep.
And I think a lot of CEOs are finding difficulties in balancing between that. Any type of advice you can give on specific type of practical designs that you believe that these companies could implement to continue the well balance between the advancement and also the governance?
So 2 comments. One, I think this is a real significant opportunity for Deloitte. If you look at AI and, for example, the need to ensure that it's free from bias and that the algorithms are safe and responsible, that's a massive role for Deloitte, huge role. Then also AI can do a lot of good. You would note, hey, one prompt uses 1 bottle of water. That's extraordinary in terms of the impact on the environment. So at Deloitte, we have a thing called environmentally conscious code. And we've actually designed an AI tool that looks at code, because there's decades of code. A lot of that code is inefficient. A lot of it's not even used, or it's poor quality coding. And so this enterprise conscious code developed out of India enhances the efficiency of algorithms and code, therefore reduces the burden on our environment. So great opportunity for us, but also AI itself and some of these AI tools can be used for great effect.
APEC CEO Summit is right at the center of all the agenda that APEC is covering.
Yep.
Obviously, the collaboration between business and government is starting to get more important, I think becoming more prioritized. The collaborative framework that we need to focus on is going to be very critical for all the countries. Any type of advice or observation that you learned from the last 2 days that you would like to address here?
I would just observe that this is an extraordinary opportunity, and I just am so grateful to the foresight of the Korean firm to ensure that as Deloitte, we are the exclusive knowledge partner, because there's been a real opportunity for us at Deloitte to shape conversations, feed the data and insights into those conversations, and for our brand to be front and center at an extraordinary summit. The meeting of the 2 leaders of the 2 most important powers in the world today is occurring here. We were honoured to share the stage with 2 presidents. It's remarkable. So I think all I would say to all of our colleagues is we ought to use every opportunity like this to spend time with our clients, to engage, to have meaningful conversations, to shape the issues that matter, and really deliver on our purpose. And our purpose is twofold. Our ambition is to be one of the most responsible and respected organisations, and I think we've really delivered on that at this summit. We also have a purpose statement to make an impact that matters, and I believe here at this summit we've done exactly that.
Well, to close up, I believe the whole point of APEC is kind of look at Asia Pacific from government perspective or from business perspective overall. I think with all the agenda that's going on and potentially all the matters that you've already covered today during the interview, I believe Deloitte's role could be very significant for not only businesses, but our government partners. What type of role do you think as Deloittians that we should all keep in mind and continue to have in our hearts as sort of the last advice that you would give towards Deloitte Network?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple of areas. And when we looked at the survey on policy and role of government, there was 2 things that our CEOs said. One, 50% of them said they want greater harmonisation of cross-border rules and regulations, right? Now, we play a big part on that. So, for example, digital reporting standards. Deloitte can really invest heavily in that and play a key role. That's really important. And then the other thing they called for, which was interesting, was clearer sort of sovereign data and digital guidelines. And we've got a really amazing offering around that, led by Nissa Mittal. It's all about sovereign AI and helping governments and countries around the world establish their sovereign AI capability with data sovereignty, data security, respecting privacy, copyright, confidentiality. So real opportunity for us to be at the heart of those policy issues of today.
Well, thank you very much, David. I think that was it, folks, to hear from David Hill on APEC 2025 sites. And hopefully we'll continue to hear more from David later. Thank you,
Thanks,
David.
Tay. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.